Welcome to Friday Morning Dharma. Um, on February 13th, Friday the 13th, I prefer to think of it as Valentine's Eve Day. So let's just call it that. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Let's go ahead and settle in for some meditation. The most important feature of a good meditation posture is for our spine to be straight and relaxed. A straight spine facilitates unrestricted flow of our internal energy winds, sometimes called prana, sometimes called chi. Our mouth is closed, our jaw is relaxed, and if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and softly close your eyes. And to begin, I'd like you to please bring your awareness to the exhalation of your breath and very gently allow your exhalation to be just a bit longer and a bit more pronounced than your inhalation. Please feel free to experiment with pausing briefly at the bottom of each exhalation. This meditation technique can help both your body and your mind to start to settle and to rest, to become quiet and still. Now is not the time to reflect on events that have occurred in the past. Those events cannot be changed, undone, or recreated. Nor is this the time to speculate about events that may or may not occur in the future. The future is unknown to us at this time. Now is the time to be fully present here in this moment. Now is the time to give yourself full permission to enjoy engaging in a practice that's going to bring you a peaceful state of mind and at the same time create the causes to experience a peaceful world. There is an aspect of the body that is referred to sometimes as the inner body. Some schools of meditation refer to it as the subtle body. And by coming into contact with your inner body, you can make manifest a more supple, tranquil state of awareness. So to accomplish this, I'd like you to please draw your awareness inside of your body and become aware of sensations. These sensations may start in your hands and your feet in the form of a tingling, perhaps a lightness, perhaps a heaviness, perhaps a pulsation. No analysis is necessary. There's nothing to figure out. Just be the silent observer of these sensations and allow a more awakened state of awareness to emerge. Moment by moment, year after year, the mountain simply observes silently. Snow may fall on the mountain, accumulate, and then disappear. A nearby river may rise and then recede. A flock of migrating birds may fly past the mountain. The mountain simply observes silently. No praise, no blame, no hope, no fear, no expectation. Be a mountain. Be a mountain as you silently observe sensations within your own body mountain. You are not the mountain, and you are not separate from the mountain. There is no mountain, and there is no cessation of mountain. Now, please redirect your awareness once again. Become aware again of this collection of parts we've agreed to label physical body, and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, becoming aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of limitless space beyond the blue sky. And we dedicate all of the merit, all of the positive energy from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception be completely free from all forms of emotional and physical suffering. May all beings without exception soon come to enjoy inner and outer freedom. May they soon come to enjoy inner and outer peace. May they be happy and contented. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Excuse me. Welcome back. So we are continuing through our discussion of the Four Noble Truths. We've discussed already in previous classes the first noble truth: you should know suffering. And our last class, which I guess was a week ago Monday, feels like forever. In our class a week ago Monday, we ventured into the second noble truth: you should attain cessations. Remember our prologue, of course. If you want to be free from suffering, you should know suffering. If you want to be free from suffering, you should abandon the origins of suffering. What did I say? Did I say you should attain cessation? I got them mixed up. Number two is you should abandon origins, as in you should abandon the origins of suffering. And the origins of suffering are not people who don't act the way we want them to, or the way we think they should act. The origins of our suffering are deluded or confused states of mind. These are the real origins of suffering. Deluded, confused states of mind. And I gave an example a week ago Monday, and one of the root delusions, if you will, is this honest mistake. It's really an honest mistake that we make almost every moment of our waking life, and that is just thinking. We don't even think, just viewing the world as existing separate from our mind, rather than the truth of the matter, which is we create the world with our mind. The world is a projection of our mind. I won't get into it too deeply here. If you need a refresher, you can go back to our YouTube channel and review it. But yeah, both, not just qualitatively. I mean, we all know, qualitatively, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Ugliness or wretchedness is in the eye of the beholder. Qualitatively, we know that it's a subjective thing, but even existentially, we bring the world into existence with our mind. And we'll talk about that a class or two from now when we talk about the root delusion, which is ignorance. Um, another another kind of sort of rubber hits the road example of a delusion that is one of the origins of our suffering is viewing things in the world as having independent existence. Like we think that here again, we don't think, we just sort of kind of sleepwalk through life with this perception that things have independent existence, like they exist in isolation from one another. And I exist. Yeah, I'm the big one. So we think we are the big one living independently from everything around us. We are islands unto ourselves. That's sort of how we sleepwalk through life. Um, when in fact, at yesterday's sort of community meditation for peace, we talked about interconnectedness. Everything doesn't exist independently as we sort of mistakenly live our lives. Everything lives interdependent to or interconnected with everything. There was a guy, I don't know, you Silver City long timers remember a guy who worked at the co-op named Tyrone. And you'd say, "Hi, Tyrone, how's it going?" And he would respond the same way every time. "Everything is everything." That was his way of saying, "How's it going?" Everything is everything. And that kind of speaks to interdependence, interconnectedness. Um, I don't think there's any more graphic or really tragic example of the consequences of our living as though things in the world, including ourselves, live independent of one another. I think there's no more heartbreaking example than our relationship, us humans, our relationship to the natural world. You know, we've become profoundly disconnected from the natural world, and as a result, we're killing our host, because we're completely oblivious to the interconnectedness, our interconnected relationship with the natural world. And if you want proof of this, I mean, you don't need to go hug a tree. You can. It's one of my favorite things to do, but just take a breath. Take a breath, and we'll be reminded of our connection to the natural world of air, oxygen. Drink some water and hug a tree. Yeah, and hug a tree or go stick your feet in a stream and remember, oh yeah, oh yeah, we're kin. We are kin. Yeah. A forgetting of the interconnectedness of phenomena um, is kind of what I refer to as the original sin. And as I said yesterday, my understanding of the translation of the word sin is missing the mark. Not guilt, you're a bad person, you're a sinful person, just missing the mark, being confused about it. The original sin, to my way of thinking, is self and other, which points to being separate and distinct, independent, rather than interdependent. So, gonna move into more kind of traditional presentations of delusions, kind of within the Buddhist doctrine. I'll try to. Wind told me yesterday after the talk, she said, "You do so much better when you talk from the heart. So try not to be so academic." she's one who can get away with kind of telling me that. And she's right. The more heart-based I can make it, the better it is for all of us. So there are kind of three root delusions that are referred to in Buddhist doctrine. One of traditionally what's presented first is the root delusion of anger. And by the way, lots of delusions that we assign different labels to. There is frustration, resentment, jealousy. Jealousy, the definition of jealousy being angry over someone else's happiness. And yucky when we think about it in those terms. Greed, miserliness, these are all sort of examples of delusions, confused states of mind. You can think of it almost like as a pyramid. Here are kind of the different delusions, and then they all sort of go up the pyramid into the three root delusions of anger, desire, and ignorance. Anger is this confused notion that something or someone or some situation or some inanimate object has the power to make us unhappy. Yeah. Like there are phenomena in the world, people, places, situations, inanimate objects that make us unhappy, right? They like are unhappiness imparting objects that have the wherewithal to bring unhappiness to us. So here's the definition of anger. And don't tell Wind that I gave this because it's decidedly academic. But so anger, a mind that focuses on an object, perceives it to be unpleasant, exaggerates its bad qualities, and wishes to be removed from the object or even harm the object, thinking that the object is the source of the perceiver's unhappiness. A lot of words just to say we think that things can make us unhappy when actually, and that gives rise to anger or aversion, right? This person is making me unhappy, usually by not acting the way that I want them to, which is usually not acting exactly the way I do, and this gives rise to anger or aversion. And I gotta be removed from this person. I can't, or I even need to destroy this person, right? Because they're making me unhappy.
So the object can be a person.
Yeah, it usually is a person. Yeah, the question was, you guys, can the object of our anger be a person? The answer is yes. And most often, if we check, it is. So how can we examine this and prove to ourselves that there's no such thing as a unhappiness creating person, as someone or something making us unhappy? I mean, to think that way thinks that this would be to think that this is an inherently bad person or an inherently bad situation. It's making me unhappy because its nature is badness, right? We don't have that conceptual thought, but we kind of, again, sleepwalk through life, just sort of engaging in the play, in the drama. I think you remember our discussion 10 days ago, friends, enemies, and strangers. Yeah. How can we prove to ourselves that objects of aversion are creations of our mind? From their own side, they don't have the power to make us unhappy unless we let them. Yeah. We can prove this by super simple and powerful test. If there was such a thing as an unhappiness producing person or object, situation, inanimate object, everybody would perceive it the same way. everybody would regard him or her as being a bad person or a bad thing. And guess what? No such person exists. No such situation exists. Why? Because we create that unhappiness producing object with our mind. The opponent, out of time. It's amazing how fast time flies. Fortunately, there's an opponent to the mind of anger. It's called patient acceptance. Patient acceptance. Accepting what is, having abandoned the notion that things should be other than what they are. It's a form of wisdom that recognizes, oh, this is just a projection. Not just, it's a projection of my mind. I can apply patient acceptance and eliminate this, what here previously known as enemy. Okay. Good. Monday, I think we'll talk about the second of the 3 root delusions, attachment, also known as desirous attachment. Medicine Buddha meditation tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you for being here, you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jeff. Good job.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, you. What's up?
I think I got yet another
Whoops.
test.
Another set of tests. Oh my gosh.
I'm keeping the medical